Hello and welcome to another AIC video. I'll admit that I've been struggling to write this review for this laptop for quite some time. Not because I don't like it, and not because it's not a great laptop, but because Lenovo has been making such great Legion laptops for so long, it's kind of hard to come up with something new to say. It's exactly what I expect from a Lenovo Legion at this time. And we'll go through the specs and play some games. But probably the most important thing I can say about this laptop is that I sold my Zephyrus G14 on eBay and will be using the proceeds from that to buy myself another Legion. I'd had one previously, it was a Legion 7, but sold it a couple of years ago at this point. This one was sent to me from Lenovo for this review. Now, what is this laptop? Again, this is a Lenovo Legion. It's a Slim 5. Or excuse me, 5 Slim. It has a Ryzen 7 7840HS. It has 16 gigs of RAM, 2560 by 1600 16-inch display. That is a 16 by 10 aspect ratio, so a little bit taller. It does have an RTX 4060. I did open it up in a previous video to check out the internals. I'll link that down below. The RAM on this is upgradable. Both slots are not soldered. There's 2 full-length NVMe slots, so you can upgrade the storage and have dual storage. Even the Wi-Fi chip is not soldered, so you can swap it out if need be. I'm quite happy to see that on this class of laptop. The lack of soldered memory, the lack of soldered Wi-Fi, and having 2 upgradable storage slots is excellent. The build quality of the machine is very good. You get less metal than I had on my Legion 7, but where it's plastic is very sturdy, well-feeling plastic with very little flex. The only thing that's really preventing me from being able to pick it up with one hand is just the weight, and she's pretty heavy. The trackpad on the laptop is large and accurate, though I bet most people with this, because it being almost a desktop replacement, would be using an external mouse. The keyboard is very traditional Lenovo Legion. It kind of crosses that bridge between an IdeaPad consumer line and a ThinkPad line keyboard. It has a nice throw with good resistance, nice sound to it. All the keys fall exactly where you expect them to be, especially if you've used Lenovo products in the past. I really appreciate the full-size arrow keys. That can't be understated. They're really useful and easy to find. They're all the same size and similar in size to the other keys on the keyboard. The only real change I would make to the keyboard is the number pad. I'd actually just go ahead and do away with it entirely and center the keyboard and trackpad to the laptop. That's very much a personal preference, but I wouldn't mind if it was gone. I can't remember the last time I used a numpad for gaming, and I know it's convenient for productivity, but I just prefer that centered keyboard. One thing that this doesn't do that my previous Legion did do, that I wish it did, is when you hit the function button, it would light up the keys that had a function. And so like you see here on the Q key, there is no other label on there, but it's the button you use to cycle through different power modes. On my previous Legion, when you hit function and cycle through, it would give you just the keys would light up that had a function. Kind of a minor thing, but I know I personally would prefer that. I know there's a sticker specifically for that button here, but if this was my laptop, these stickers will all be gone. I hate stickers on my laptop, and so you wouldn't have that reminder for the functionality, especially if you're buying it secondhand. All right, we'll go ahead and go over the ports here real quick. They're pretty generous, especially for a laptop this size. On the right-hand side, you get a full-size SD card reader and a switch to disable the camera. Obviously, the vent port. On the left side, we get 2 USB Type-C ports. Both support DisplayPort 1.1, and the front one does charging up to 140 watts and a headphone microphone combo jack. On the back, we get our charging port for the square plug for the very traditional Lenovo. They've had this for, over a decade now. We have an HDMI 2.1 port. We have our gig Ethernet and 2 USB Type A's, one of which is power delivery. When the system is off, you can charge devices with that. And one thing I wish with this laptop that I had on previous Legions is these being lit up when the laptop is on. Because they're in the back of the machine, you tend to kind of look over the top of it. And it's great when you have a light on, but if you try to plug in something behind the laptop, having these light up would be nice. I know that's a premium feature, and so would, they're saving that for the more premium models, but it'd be a nice thing to have on this laptop. The other nice thing that would be nice to have is, instead of having a gigabit, having this be a 2.5 gig NIC. People who actually use these are going to want to use a 2.5 gig. More and more things are coming out. It's becoming more cost effective to have 2.5. In fact, I'm planning on upgrading my house to 2.5 gig, and it's 100% backwards compatible. And so you can plug this into gigabit and it'll work just fine. But then if you have or will have 2.5 gig in the future, you'll have that availability as well. The speakers on this laptop are pretty okay. Definitely not the best I've had on a system, but also not terrible. They don't have quite as much bass or bump as I've had on previous laptops. I just pulled up some random techno music here, queued it up to just before a bass drop, and I'll let you hear that here. They're okay. They don't make me go running for headphones. Again, just not as good as I've had on other systems. Go ahead and listen to it for just a second. And you could hear that bass drop. It just really wasn't there. You didn't have the punch. There's only so much you can expect out of laptop speakers, but I have had better laptop speakers. So, okay, not great. Definitely sufficient for if you're playing games, things like that. If you're not needing to have super precise audio like you would want with headphones anyway. So, they are loud enough to be louder than the fans, which we'll go over in a little bit. Now, as far as performance goes, we have an 8-core, 16-thread Core i7 with massive heat pipes and large fans. Is any surprise what the performance is? Not really. I ran Cinebench on the performance mode, got a score of 15,630 on quiet mode. Obviously, we did lose a little performance, got a score of 14,022. Really not bad. And both of which put to shame the 5th gen Ryzen 5 I have in my desktop. We won't discuss what score it got. Gaming is much of the same story. We have a RTX 4060. But what really surprises me is how quiet this system is compared to other gaming laptops I've had. Obviously, gaming laptops are going to be louder when being pushed than other laptops. You have more fans, bigger fans, more heat coming out of it. But this is actually surprisingly less loud than the other laptops I've owned in this category. Specifically, my G14 was almost deafening, and my Legion 7 sounded like a jet engine was sitting right next to me on the desktop. Usually I can keep the volume at 40% or so in a fairly quiet room, admittedly in my office by myself, but be able to hear dialogue and music just fine and sound effects just fine over the fans. And I'll show you that here when gaming, we'll play a game. But as an example, you really don't lose much performance either in games. Grand Theft Auto 5 on performance setting, I was getting 155 to 160 frames per second. In quiet mode, I did lose some frames, get about 125 frames per second, exact same settings. I was able to listen to the game and hear everything at about 40% volume just fine. I probably could have lowered that down a little bit, but on quiet mode, it was nearly silent, and the fans were just barely loud enough. The fans were just barely loud enough, and I was able to keep the volume down at like 10%. Let's go ahead and boot up a game here, and we'll kind of go through some of those different modes here. All right, so I'll turn the volume down just a little bit here. Turn it down to 25 or 22, 24. There you go. So this is the Jedi Knight Survivor. I've been playing through Fallen Order. I bought them both on Steam sale recently for May 4th, obviously. I've been playing through Fallen Order. I haven't finished it yet. I haven't played Survivor at all because I've been trying to finish the others, but I will load up because this is the newer game, so it has the higher graphic fidelity. It also has ray tracing and stuff. So I just wanted to show you guys the more advanced game here. We'll let this finish loading up. This always takes a minute to load. All right, so we are loading. We're going to go ahead and continue our journey now. You can hear the fans ramping up, and they are loud, as I said. I'll turn the volume up here a little bit. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and turn the performance down to quiet. Turn the volume down more just so you can hear just how quiet the fans are. Just a whisper. So I forget that this is opening scene. You have to go through it, but you can see just how well it's running, how clean it is. Has ray tracing turned on. We'll go through. Let me the settings here. Visuals. So we have Windows. Everything's on high. VSync off. Ray tracing is on. This is just the default settings that it came with. But yeah, it looks great, plays great on the system, which is exactly what I would expect out of it. Now, the question is this the Lenovo Legion for me? I'm not 100% sure. I do like it is quite a bit lighter and thinner than my Legion 7 I had. And I really do like it. Like I said, it's really nice. It is a really nice laptop. But I really want to get my hands on the 14-inch model that Lenovo has. That's more the competitor for the G14 for review. Because, like I said, the keyboard not being centered is something that does bother me. I'm also pretty mobile. I don't have like a single place I sit down. Oftentimes I'll plug my laptop into like our big family TV and play games my kids will watch, or I'll take it in my bedroom at night. You know, when my wife's working on something, I'll be in there with her, and so I'll set up to play games in there. So I like something a little bit smaller, a little bit lighter, just because I am more mobile with it. But we'll see. I'll try to get my hands on one. But if you have any questions about this specific laptop, definitely comment down below. I'll do my best to answer those. Hopefully you found this review helpful. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have an amazing day.